Let's clean some stalls. Had a little leftover from yesterday in the tub from cleaning the horse trailer out from our trip to the vet. So I'm gonna dump it out real quick before we start with Sparkle's stall. It's a little confusing because we have a Sparkle and a Sparky, mother and daughter. It wasn't my idea. So at this place, we haul the manure out and put it in. I've got a bunch of low spots in the pasture and kind of dangerous spots that I've been putting the shavings and manure to utilize it. It's good, it breaks down in the pasture. Fresh manure though is really hard, especially horse manure. It's really hard on grass. It burns the grass. It's too rich coming from the stomach of a horse, because the horses do not break it down. They're not ruminants like cattle or sheep that break it down and make it a lot more available, bioavailable. So obviously in Sparkle's stall, she doesn't use it in here because she has an open run. Thankfully she doesn't. So I just rake her shavings to the middle because that's the cushion. That it's the purpose behind it in here is if she urinates, gives it somewhere to catch it. But it's really for her, it's a cushion for her to walk in, gives her comfort on her feet and joints. And so I always bring that to the middle and put it in a place where it's obviously her motion through the day, she's going to kick it back out to the side some. So I always try to fluff it and bring it back to the center to some extent. Excuse me, ma'am. And then she uses out here. So it's actually kind of nice to clean in a way, in a situation like hers, because all I have to do is scrape this up. I don't sift. As you'll see in Sparky's pen, that I'm gonna have to sift through her shavings some, and that is a little more time consuming. But if done right, it's nice. So I always break everything up in this situation in the middle and try to make big moves to the bucket. Try to plan what I'm doing. I dump it when I'm over it. Try not to spill on the way to it. This little setup's pretty handy. Some people use wheelbarrows. Some people use 5-gallon buckets. Some people use a side-by-side. Everybody's going to do something a little bit different, but this is the general idea. Obviously, this is a manure fork that I'm using, is what it's called, or a manure rake. Obviously, you can see we have a couple different kinds of rakes and a shovel that we use to clean here. Obviously, cleanliness in the horse area, it's imperative that we clean up after them unless they're out on a big open pasture, because there's a lot of opportunity for parasites and really nasty stuff to kind of grow in the manure. And so we want to keep it clean. The sun is also really good. Sun is sterilizing. And so when it is out in the pasture, a lot of times I have what is called a chain harrow, which is just basically like a big chain link fence piece that's overbuilt. It's probably 1/2 inch steel, and it drags through and kind of disrupts all the manure pile and breaks it up and makes it easier for the beneficial nematodes and the mycorrhizal fungi and things like that to utilize that for nutrients to continue that life cycle of all our awesome plants that are out in the pasture. So when I do hers, obviously I keep my tractor pretty close. So I'm going to clean up her mess here and dump it, because when I go into Sparky's pen, she usually has enough of a mess to have a whole bucket. And so if I go in like this, I'll have to go back anyway. So I might as well do it now while I'm already in this corner. Being efficient, doing chores is really important. Being efficient, having good planning procedure when you flow. And here's another situation. We want to make sure no matter what, we close this gate. We have nice slam latches, but always close gates behind you on a ranch. Lift with your legs, not with your back. Do safe lifting techniques. Even something as simple as that can throw your back out after a certain amount of time. Repetitive motions. It's something to be watched for, obviously. We close the gate. And now we're going to move into Sparky's pen. Sparky is Sparkle's daughter. She's 2 years old. And so I'm going to clean her pen. It's nice they have a run on their stalls at this place, and so they're able to maneuver around. She does use manure piles out here out of the way, which is, like I said, it's a little easier to clean. I just shake it, see how I shake it, and sift the gravel out. Sift it out, and then all that's left is the manure when it's done correctly. And it does leave a little behind, so sometimes I make extra passes. It's not the end of the world too if there's a little residue. Next time it rains or the winds blow real hard, it typically blows it away. Part of the natural circle. But I like to try to keep things as clean as possible, especially in these areas where they frequent. And it's just good aesthetically. You know, when you're on a horse place, it's always good to pick up. If you bring your horse somewhere to ride with somebody, you always want to clean up after yourself, after your horse. Obviously, right? You leave shavings, manure on their parking lot, or where you get a horse out of the trailer. You always need to clean that up. So I carry a fork or a shovel with me in the trailer at all times when I go. And same thing, you don't want to be leaving a mess at a horse show and destroying everywhere you go. Obviously, we are out in the public space. You want to be a good ambassador for your sport and for what you do. So something to be proud of. Be clean and tidy. Take care of your horses. They are a luxury to be able to have and to get to spend time with them. And obviously, I'm a big believer in that. You know, we bring these horses in out of the world where they were wild once, and we put them in a stall. We put fences around them, confine them. So we have a big responsibility to them, to care for them properly and to make sure that they're healthy and looked after, because they don't have their natural cycle as they would out in the pasture. Obviously, we get to intervene if something's wrong, and we need to know when something's wrong as well. Sparky's very friendly. She likes to come for love when I'm cleaning her stall. When that's good, that's fine. But also, that's a good thing as horse behavior goes, that they need to be, they're just like people. They need to be polite. And if Sparky is, if she is being impolite, she wants kisses this morning. And that's okay. She does love kisses. But she's not helping me clean the stall very well, are you? No. No, you're not. So I clean around her. Obviously, I don't want to get her, we're not in any big trouble, but like if she gets too close into my personal space, I push her away a little bit and tell her, hey, this is my personal space. I'm trying to swing this manure fork here. Because you don't want to create animals because they're bigger and stronger than us, and they are very smart, and eventually they'll develop habits that are exploitative and are naughty and are not safe to be around. You want to always have animals that little children can come be around, and that they understand to be respectful, right? And if she was doing this to a little child, it could be very scary and very dangerous for her, because if something scared her, usually a horse that's leaning to you is going to jump right over you. So, but Sparky is super sweet, and she loves love, and so it's hard not to spend time with her and give her affection, because she loves it so much, huh? Don't you? Yes, you're a special girl. But you still got to clean your stall. I like these pelletized shavings as well. Obviously, if you're working on a ranch, you're not going to be making those decisions. But if you find yourself in decision time, I really like them. They take up a lot less room. They're easy to stack. And when you put them down, as you can see, they're kind of pelletized like grain. And then when they're come in contact with moisture, they expand and turn into a finer shaving. And that's really handy. Obviously, when I first put them down in a fresh stall, like this stall has a rhino line or pan in the bottom of it. And so no moisture goes down, it all stays. And so that's where the shavings comes in. The shavings picks up and absorbs the urine and any spilled water or any moisture that comes in contact with the stall. And so that way, when I come along, I can scoop it up. It kind of scoops up like cat litter like this. And so it's kind of nice. You can see here's a wet spot here. I'm going to maneuver around, kind of go in behind her. She's being a little too friendly this morning. I feel like there's a wet spot right here. Yeah, there's a wet spot. We're going to you can see how wet it was in there. Always get these out. That's nasty. Full of ammonia and urine. So that old farm boy had been missing a couple spots here. I can tell you what. So anyway, I'm always sifting, fluffing and sifting, just like I said with Sparkle's stall. We want it to be comfortable, fluffy to walk on, like new insoles, new tennis shoes, right, for you. It gives them a new cushion for their when they're standing in a certain area. Because, you know, out in the pasture most of the time or in the mud, it's pretty cushy out there. They're standing on a layer of grass, dead grass, live grass, you know, or they're in sand. Most of the time, a horse's natural environment is not on hard asphalt, right? They're out in the wild, in softer settings. We always want to make sure we provide that for them as best that we can, and that's part of my opinion, cleaning a good stall is like that. So now I'm going to rake everything in the middle. Let's see what I missed. This stall's about due for stripping and more shavings. You know, when the shavings become more dingy than good overall, and they have just a little bit of that urine residue through them, I strip every bit out and restart with a brand new set of shavings. And I put a lime down, or they have a lot of different products that are for smell, especially in bigger barns. This part up on the barn, there's only 4 stalls in here, and they are all open air to the top on this side, so there's a lot of ventilation. But your closed barns, like up in the the northwest, northeast, where they're always enclosed, you're going to get a lot of ammonia in the air, and it's super important that you clean the urine out of the stall, because that is very dangerous to horses' lungs and humans too. But it's really toxic to be breathing that all the time for all of them, and you'll be able to tell. I mean, if you've been into a barn like that, you know it'll burn your eyes. It's kind of an unpleasant situation, and that's because there's just too much urine. And sometimes the urine gets down in the ground too, underneath it. That's the reason we have rhino liner pans. As you can see in here, we have a lip. It goes all the way into the all one piece. So being all one piece like that, it helps. There's no leaking, but it's also every bit of moisture, every bit of urine and manure is now my responsibility to get hauled out. So as the stall cleaner in this situation here, when I'm at a show, I do the same thing. It's good for the horses for you to be in there. You know, if you're between classes and you're bored or you're nervous or something, one of my psychological strategies is I like spending time with the horse, you know, kind of visualizing what's about to happen. I feel like cleaning the stall is a really good time of bonding mentally. You start thinking about what you're going to do that day, and kind of visualizing it. And for some reason, it helps having that horse in there with you. You know, kind of picturing, how is this going to go? It's part of making a good plan. How is my run going to go today? What am I going to execute? What am I going to do better than I did last time? And to me, those times frequently happen. The preparation happens in the stall while cleaning stalls. Hi, sweet girl. You want more love and attention? Obviously, I try to keep things neat and tidy. I'm not going to pick up every blade of hay out here because it's been windy and she's been launching some of it out here. But I want to clean up as much as I can. The other thing, we don't want horses eating in dirt, because they will their body cannot expel it, so they keep it in their gut, and they'll build up a big sand pile essentially down there, and it'll have a sand colic, and you'll have to have it cut out surgically, and that's if the horse doesn't die from the complications. So super important. We don't want to feed our horses on the dirt. As you can see, I just missed that there. The wind is a kind of a pain in the neck. Grass is probably unnecessary, but part of my OCD, sometimes you want to make sure stuff is completely correct. So, all right, Sparky, we're going to leave now and go dump your manure, okay? Have a good day. We'll see you in a little bit, okay? Cool kid. And we'll dump it in the tractor. I'll dump it tomorrow sometime when it fills up. All right, thanks for watching. That's my little video on how to clean a horse stall properly. Thanks so much.